Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to this dose of celestial goodness. As always, thank you for joining me in this space and on this journey. I truly appreciate your time and your presence. Now, I was going to make this post 2 weeks ago about the beginning of the Lunar New Year, but things got a little busy, as they tend to. So, that being said, I think it's an important part of the 2023 energy, the Lunar New Year, that is. And so we will have two topics for this dose of celestial goodness. So I'd actually written up a short article for a newsletter at work, and so a little of this is adapted from that. While most of the world celebrated New Year's Day on January 1st, thanks to the Gregorian calendar, there are many people in the world who abide by different calendars and who have different New Years. And if you've been following my channel and blog for a while, you may have heard me mention that some of my best friends from college are Asian, and over the years I've gained some exposure to different cultural practices. And it was in this way that I learned that there are many different cultures and religions that use a lunar calendar, or as it's sometimes referred to, a lunisolar calendar. And that is what is used to celebrate the beginning of a new year. So with these calendars, the months are observed by the cycles of the moon. And in the East Asian cultural sphere, some of the Lunar New Year celebrations for this year actually began on January 22nd, 2023. There are some which will begin on February 20th, but the date of January 22nd is because the new year began with the first new moon of January, and it lasts until the next full moon, Sunday, February 5th. So that new moon was in the sign of Aquarius, the full moon is in the sign of Leo, and the full moon marks the end of the Lunar New Year. So most Lunar New Year celebrations are filled with beautiful, beautiful celebrations, delicious foods, and cultural traditions that go back for thousands of years. For example, I learned from Melody that in Chinese culture, red envelopes are given during special occasions and holidays. The color red symbolizes energy, happiness, and good luck. Wrapping money in red paper is actually expected to bestow more happiness and more blessings. And I also learned that the number 8 was considered to be the luckiest number because it is associated with wealth and prosperity. Now, having friends from a wide range of the Asian diaspora taught me that while a lot of people say Chinese New Year, that Lunar New Year is actually more accurate, since while there are a lot of similarities, there are also major differences in the celebration of the holiday across the region. The most important part of the holiday for everyone, however, is spending time with family and friends. So this year, we will usher out the year of the tiger, and we will welcome the year of the rabbit. And I found through my own astrological studies that the Eastern zodiac lines up very well with one's Jupiter placement in Western astrology. Thought that was interesting. Jupiter being our lucky planet. In the Eastern zodiac, the zodiac wheel consists of 12 animals. So those animals are the rat, the ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. Please note, however, that in some countries, like in Vietnam, this is actually the year of the cat, in place of the rabbit. Now, in addition to the animals, there are 5 elements of earth, water, fire, wood, and metal. And those are mapped onto the traditional lunar calendar. So each year is associated not only with an animal, but they also correspond to an element. The rabbit is said to be the luckiest sign of the zodiac, and this year's element of water is said to promote calm and smoothness. So hopefully, hopefully we may all have a wonderful and peaceful year. So just to sum up, one of my horoscope apps said this, and I thought it was just a really nice way of capturing what we could look forward to in this year. 2023, the year of the water rabbit. Drum roll, please. You are about to enter a year filled with magic, as if making an appearance directly out of a magician's hat. 2023 will cast a spell on you, and it is just what the world needs right now. The rabbit is considered the luckiest sign of the zodiac, and for many people, this will be the ongoing theme of 2023. Many of you will experience stretches of luck that can't be explained and can be surprising. Others may experience situations that seem anything but lucky. And yet, with the undercurrent beneath these experiences, you will see that they were carrying you to places that were indeed auspicious. That's why it's so important this year, and all the time really, to assume the best. Just because something that happens in your life appears to be unfortunate or undesirable at the time, does not preclude it from bringing something unexpectedly wonderful into your life. This is a year for cultivating inner peace and harmony, as well as for fostering connections with others. Let us strive to make the most of this auspicious year by focusing on inner peace and harmony, and by supporting and uplifting one another. And I just thought that was a very beautiful approach to the Lunar New Year. Now, speaking of support and uplifting vibes, the next topic of discussion was actually inspired by one of my most supportive and uplifting friends. So a few weeks ago, my friend Natoya took me to brunch. She is a Jamaican queen, one of the hardest working people that I know, bold and courageous, and when she knows what she wants, she goes for it. As the Roman poet Virgil said, audentes fortuna juvat, or fortune favors the bold. Now I hope that fortune will always favor her, and you, if you're listening to this. And my heart just felt so uplifted and renewed by our conversation. And you know that like spending time with some people is truly like feeling the sunshine pouring into all of your nooks and crannies. So as we were discussing life and laughing away, as we do, one of the things, Natoya kind of she leaned in and she asked me, do you have space in your life for the things that you want? This made me pause. Did I have space in my life for the things that I desire at this juncture of my life? I didn't know. I mean, I had to take stock of it, and since that time, it has actually been on my mind. And she said to me, clear away the old things that are taking up energy. And she meant the unused things, the things that represented an old chapter of my life, and things that I needed to let go of. She also said, and this is something that my mommy always asks me too, do you have space in your actual space and calendar for love, for adventure, for peace, and for joy? Mommy likes to ask me, is there room for another person? Have you made time in your calendar for these things? And I'm always like, you mean someone can just fit in next to my plants, which are looking amazing, by the way. So Natoya, asked me, like, is there room in your closet for someone else's clothes? Which actually made me laugh because most of my friends know how much I love clothes, and the sparklier the better, so they are in there, but I got what she was saying, and it really did make me think. The O Street mansion flashed across my mind ever since my visit there, and it's a beautiful home, and if ever you're in the DC area, you can actually visit. It's a museum as well. Rosa Parks stayed there for some time, but it gave me high anxiety because they had never, ever thrown anything away. So it was like a hoarder's dream come to life. And while there are many treasures, I really just felt overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of things. Things are just everywhere. So, I've analyzed in my own life whether I have something because I truly need it, or if it is just because it's satisfying some deep underlying issue. And I gave Marie Kondo a hard time when she first came out, primarily because of the debate about books and whether they gave us joy. Yes, my books give me great joy. So it was, admittedly hard for me to get rid of books in my life. I also have 2 really cool magazine subscriptions, and so I have an organized pile of magazines that I will soon release to vision boarding. So those are things, for example, that I'm like, maybe I need less of these. I don't know. But anyway, when I was little, a fresh young immigrant to the great cold dairy state of Wisconsin, it dawned on me that we were poor in terms of a lack of resources. So my mom and aunt worked as hard as they could. But the reality was that there were things that I grew up having to do without. And I think that created a dynamic later where if I had something, I just kept it forever, or if I got other things, maybe things in bulk, I would just get them in bulk because just in case. And I'm very cognizant that is also a lack mentality. It's a fear of running out. It's a fear of being without. I think we all saw this with the toilet paper debacle of the pandemic. And I don't really do that anymore, partially because I like my space to feel spacious and airy and uncluttered. And a few years ago when I was moving, a friend came by to help me pack, and he was like, why do you need 100 store plastic grocery bags? And I was like, sir, this is a Black person tradition, okay? Those grocery bags serve multiple purposes, but I did think, will I ever use all these bags? Probably not. So sometimes you need another person who's not as invested in the stuff as you are to help you let go. And I have to say, my younger sister is ruthless when it comes to getting rid of things. Her philosophy is one thing in, one thing out. And I know everyone is different, and you may be holding on to certain things for reasons that are only known to you, But I do wonder, and so I must ask the question, by holding on to things that you do not, you no longer need, or that no longer carry true sentimental value, what are you blocking from entering into your world? Where in your life could benefit from making some room and some space? What is it even that you want for your life? So here are some things to think about. What are the things that you are no longer using? What are broken things or things that might have a hole in them or two? Do you have any plants that have died or that you're just unable to nurse back to health? Do Do you have old papers? And FYI, Office Depot and Staples, I think they'll shred like 3 pounds of things for free. And then after that, it's less than 99 cents a pound. Old pictures and old memorabilia of old relationships. Do you have clothes and shoes that you no longer wear or plan to wear ever again? So these are things, right? Just a few things to think about. And I want you to know, celestial goodness is a judgment-free zone. It is. But I notice personally that when I got rid of some things, I felt better, lighter, and just my mood felt like it was greatly improved just by clearing out stagnant energy. This is also true for the digital world. So I saw somewhere that someone asked these questions. Why am I saving this? How will I feel if I release it? And maybe you don't know what to do with the stuff, right? Remember, one man's treasure is another man's junk, and vice versa. You can donate things, you can sell stuff, you can give a gift, or you can just trash the things that need trashing. The world is not easy for a lot of people right now, and your old and unused things could actually really be a blessing for someone else. I think as a society, we don't even realize just how much stuff we have until maybe it's time to move or someone passes away and we have to reconcile their life, their things, their objects. I made a vow several years ago that I would never put things in an official storage unit because I would probably never, ever use those things, and I'd be spending money to store things that in actuality I probably could just have repurposed. So again, everyone has their reasons for holding on to things, but if you ask yourself the questions, what do I want for my life? And is there currently space for it? You might be very surprised. There might be things that you can let go of right now, you know? Mommy always rolls her eyes a little bit when I tell this story, but I think it's an important story, so I'm going to tell it till my last day. For years, she wanted a particular vehicle, just fancy, but for years she was also holding on to her old minivan. And at one point I told her it would probably cost more to fix her minivan than to get a new vehicle. The minivan eventually stopped working properly, cue safety hazard, and it sat in our family's garage for a while, just literally taking up space. So I did what any oldest child who wanted to see her mother manifest something better for herself would do. That's right. I called the Purple Heart Foundation and I scheduled for them to do a midday pickup. And when I tell you they yoinked that van up so fast, this is where I insert my diabolical chuckle. Mommy was, of course, very horrified and perhaps maybe a little bit upset, but I mean, is she gonna really stay upset with me forever? So, they say that if you want a new vehicle and there's an old vehicle taking up room in the garage, there's no space for a new vehicle. Once the old vehicle is gone, it really wasn't a long time before she had her actual dream car. This is an analogy for life. If we want the things that we say we want, then we must make space for them. And I really hope this makes you think, makes you analyze whether you have things in your life that you can let go of. Make physical and energetic space, because it is the year of the rabbit, a lucky year, and you just never know what is life waiting to surprise you with, you know? And of course, you need to have the space for those blessings. When you ask for a blessing, make sure you're prepared to get it. So make space for your blessings. And I just hope, as always, that the stars shine brightly over your week. And I really hope that it is an auspicious and beautiful week for you. Thank you.